if you're still on your study journey or your migration journey, or you're just applying for your visa, or you're in the process, I really need you to watch this video all the way to the end, and I hope it speaks to you and encourages you. Finally had like where I felt like I could breathe. It was just jumping from problem to the other, whether it was visa or study or something. It was just like you were just not settled. Was I fed a lie coming into Australia? Was it all a lie, or was it worth it at the end of the day? We'll be dissecting all of that in this video. I came to Australia as a young aeronautical engineer 6 years ago. Is it still worth it 6 years later? The good, the bad, and the ugly, we are not gatekeeping here. Fresh graduate, fresh out of uni, and I came with the hope of getting an aeronautical engineering job. And did that happen? Keep watching to find out more, okay? Hi guys. Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lola Lolita. If you're seeing baby girl for the very first time, welcome and welcome back to my channel. um Today we'll be talking about, it's going to be like 6 years since I moved to Australia in like October of this year. So clap for me. It's not easy, okay? It's been 6 good years, and I just wanted to share my experience so far. If Australia is still a country you'd like to come to, like, is it still worth it 6 years later? The good, the bad, and the ugly, we are not gatekeeping here. We're going to talk about everything. Disclaimer: all of the opinions in this video are mine only. This is my experience from my lens, what I've lived. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it's your first time here, I live and work in Australia. It's been 6 years, like I said, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, okay? So the question is, so I remember when I came, fresh engineering graduate, it was like, come in, you have 18 months to like find an engineering job. Once you find that job, you are able to like apply for permanent residency. I can live in Australia forever, yada yada yada. Guys, it was a lie. This was a fairy tale that nobody told me about. I came in and I couldn't find a job in my field. I came in 2018 October, and it still feels like yesterday. I remember everything so vividly, and it was hard, and it was just um I came in and they were like, oh, you need to get a permanent residency before we can give you jobs. And I was like, oh, nah, like that doesn't make sense. I just kept going in circle and circle, and at some point I was like, you know what, let's forget this. I can't do this anymore, okay? And I just had to start looking for other options. So I came in October 2018, and I'll talk to you guys about I think the $1 million question is, would you do this all over again? Would I do this all over again? And you have to keep watching to find out my answer. Okay, yes, I'm keeping you in suspense. Okay. Um so let's start with the ugly. I moved to Australia 2018, end of 2018, literally. I started working 2019, and I have a video about like the jobs I've done in Australia, so I think you can check that out. I I I hmm, I started working 2019, right? 2018, 2019, I was still doing the same job. I was getting tired of the job, and I was like, God, I just want another job. And then COVID happened in 2020, if you guys remember, right? And it was just a roller coaster of emotions. Like, okay, what are we going to do? My visa was expiring in April 2020, and I didn't have a backup plan because I was so confident that when you're so naive, I was so confident, like fresh engineering graduate, a old aeronautical engineer. Do you think it's easy? Like, I'm sure somebody will give me a job. Nope. That did not happen. So like my backup plan was out the window. I was like, okay, what can I do to stay? So I had to apply for a student visa because COVID, everyone was locked. I couldn't go out. I was stuck in here, and I did not want to be an illegal immigrant. I was like, no, that is not going to be my story. No, 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 no. So I applied for student visa. Luckily, I was able to get it. I did a diploma course because I don't get money for masters. Let's not even lie about it. Like, I was like, I can't be putting that expense on my family. Like, no, I'll try and do bachelor's. And no, diploma that I can at least afford, I guess, or like try and scrape the money together. So that's what happened. I did my diploma. I started 2020. I think I finished 2021. 2020 because I was doing my diploma in another state. So bear in mind, I was trying to look for visa options. What are the options? What can I do? So Tasmania was a good option. I was living in Sydney, backstory. And then I moved to Tasmania 2020. Let's talk about the ugly. 2020 was one of the hardest years of my adult life in every, when something's just hitting you bass. And all through that, I think I ended up starting my channel end of 2020. Yeah. But 2020 was tough. There was no, I moved to a new state, right? I came here with confidence that God, I beg. I could not stay in Sydney because the school wanted you to, for visa purposes, you need to be living in Tasmania. If I want to claim that I've studied here, you cannot be living in Sydney and say you are studying here. And you know the funny story, I went to class maybe once because everything was literally online because of COVID. We had one practical class, and that was the only time I went physically to class. It was crazy, okay? So, but I had to be living here. But guys, I left my job behind in Sydney. I did not have a job again in Sydney. Like I did not have a job here in Tasmania, so I had to leave Sydney. I had to leave Sydney for a new state that I didn't know anybody, that I didn't have a job, nothing. And I just went on faith. And when it's like you now come here and it's like, how far? What are we going to do? How are we gonna do it? I came in here, there was no job. Legit, I came June, I think end of June 2020, there was quarantine and all that. I came June 2020 and um I had to look for job. 2020, there was no job. What did I not look for? June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I think maybe November, I started volunteering. This is one thing I want you guys to pick from this. Don't just sit down at home. I started volunteering. I was like, yes, I don't have money. I had to look. What I did was I looked for a charity shop that was close to my house that I could walk to because I'm like, I don't have money. They're not going to be paying me. I cannot be spending money on transport fare. So what I did was I was walking there. I went there and I said, oh, I would like to volunteer. And they were like, okay, they did like a quick interview and they're like, sure, come and start. So I think I was going once or twice a week. It's not like I had a job. I was going to school, but like I was doing like for 4 hours. Like you can dictate how many hours you want to do. So I think I'll go maybe 10 to 2 o'clock and I was done. It was just nice, just getting out of the house, meeting new people, like telling them, I do not see. They say a closed mouth is a closed. Don't. You're looking for a job, better open your mouth and talk. So I was telling people like, they're like, oh, how long have you been? I was like, I've been here for a few months, but I'm looking for a job. Everybody that could hear, I was like, I'm looking for a job. Maybe there will be like some kind of referral because it just felt like Tasmania, their own was different. It's like you have to know somebody to kind of get a job. Like it felt like nepotism, and I was like, God, I beg go. Like all the savings that we saved up in Sydney, the thing was just going down because nothing was entering my account for like almost a year. I didn't get like a proper job until March was when like I went for the interview and I was officially granted the job until March 2022. No, March 2021, sorry. But I didn't even start that job till April. So I'm just going to say April was when money started entering my account. April 2021. So from like June to April, that's like almost a full year. Nothing was entering my account. It still blows my mind how I survived. Um, I was like trying to manage myself, but sometimes I had coconut and I was like, I cannot come and keep myself. I'll still go out and buy something. It's not like I had this money. I was like, this life, like God, I beg. So I had to like try to be strict with like my spending. It wasn't easy, guys. It was hard. Like that was really hard because I started questioning everything. I was like, it got to a point I was like, maybe I should just pack my bag and go back to Nigeria because like how am I supposed to survive like this? And yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. And I'm grateful like we are here now. So I got a job in 2021 April. I did that job till maybe last year, but like by 2022, I wasn't doing the job actively again. I remember I was on student visa, I was 24, 20 20 hours then. It was 20 hours a week, so 40 hours a fortnight. I remember like through all of this, I still needed to pay school fees, right? School fees, I think, ended up being about maybe 6,000 for the duration of the 1 year, thankfully. But I could split the payment into four. So I was paying like 1,500. But like money was not entering, guys. So it's like the little savings I had. Thank God I saved quite a bit from Sydney. So I had to just like use that money and try and survive. And yeah, I felt so alone. I was scared, and my family was worried. Like everyone was worried. Like, "Oh, what's going on? What are you going to do? How are you going to do this?" But like, God showed up. So I was able to like get a job. Eventually, apply for another visa. Okay, because student visa finished, I was able to apply for another visa, which I'm currently on, and so we're grateful for that. And yeah, so that was like the like very dark time where it was like trying to find a job was just it was not easy, it was not funny. COVID had, I would say COVID had something to do with it, but I guess maybe that was like my waiting period, and God was just telling me like, I've got you. Like when my account was almost eating like that zero, God showed up. Okay, so like it's not like I ever went hungry or anything. It's just like I had to be very intentional about my spending. Like it was that time I knew, Lola is a bit spend money. um and then 2022, right? So that was the ugly. 2022, I would say, was the good. I applied for a job in September, no, August 2021. It was just, I was working at a retail job. That was the job I got in April. September 2020, um, no, why do I keep saying September? August, I think in August, end of August 2021, I applied for this job. I think I had a really bad day at the work I was doing, retail job, like sales representative, right? I had a really bad experience, and I was just I like I'm an engineer, okay? I should not be doing this. That wasn't coming from a place of like pride or anything, but I was just like, I knew what I wanted for my life, and I was like, this is not what I want, God. Like, this is not your promise for me. And I just had to like, apply. I started applying for jobs, and I did not hear anything. I did not hear PIM from August till December, beginning of December 2021. And then they were like, oh, would you like to come for interview? I was like, of course, I'd like to come for interview, please. So I got the administrative job that I did for like 2 years, right? So that was just good, because even then, most places were not hiring admin assistants because I could only work 20 hours. So that meant I could work, but because it was when God shows up, like He shows all out, okay? Like I cannot deny the goodness of God in my life, except I'm blind, okay? And I know He's been good to me. So that period, because of COVID, there was a clause that the government put that if you're working like healthcare and something like that, there's no restriction in your hours. So um because I was like, oh, I'm on student visa. So they were like, oh, you probably only be able to do 20 hours. They were willing to give me the job. Like at this point, I signed a contract. They were fine with me working like limited hours, right? But then I told them, I went on the government website. I was like, no, actually, I think I can work full time because it was in the health sector, right? And they were like, okay. The lady was like, she'll check. So she checked. I was like, yeah, you're actually right. You can actually work full time. So like that was when things just turned around. Like it did a full 180. Here is 180. You say it did a full turnaround completely, and it was just amazing that I could, you know, like I applied and I got the job, and now I'm not restricted by 20 hours work week. So I had to. It was just good that I could do that, and God was good. So I was able to like work full time, and I think I kept my other job, and I was going um when school was on holiday, I could work like the other job, okay? Because I was still restricted by 20 hours, but because I was working in an healthcare sector, right? I could work more than 20 hours, but I can't combine the two jobs kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, by 2021 thereabouts, I was done with my studies because I finished studying sometime in 2021. So after that, I could actually combine the two jobs, which was perfect. Okay, so there was no more visa restriction. I think I was on bridging with visa, waiting for the next visa or something like that. So like that was really, really helpful. And that job has like propelled me into like different roles. I've worked in so many few different places since then. And yeah, so like when God shows up, He shows up for you. Like I didn't have the study restrictions again. I was now able to like um work two different jobs if I wanted, but I was majorly focusing on the office one where I was doing Monday to Friday. Weekend sometimes I could pick, I'll be like, okay, I'll work this weekend or I'll not work this weekend. But I finally dropped that job last year. It was just too much. And I was like, no, it's not worth it. I think my job at the moment is paying me well and I'm happy with it. So let's just stick to that. So like that is yeah, so things got better. And then 2023 I got the visa I'd applied for, and it was just God. Everything was just God. I would say I was more excited when I got nominated in 2022 than when I got the visa in 2023. But like God was good, and yeah, that is my story. And so that is, I would say, the good. So we've done the ugly, we've done the good, the bad. I would say the bad and the ugly are joined together because like that was a really terrible experience. I've said the bad. Maybe the bad was like waiting for like visa, right? Like being in limbo or like being unsure, like am I going to stay here? Because it got to a point where I was like, is Australia really still going to favor me? Would I be able to get this job? Because like I did a diploma course, and at that point when I was applying for that visa, I felt like they were prioritizing people that did like bachelor's or master's over diploma because it's understandable. Diploma you didn't pay as much. Bachelor's, master's, people are spending over 100K. How much did I spend? 6,000, 7K. Do you get? And I was just like, God, please show up for me, and He did. So I was really, really excited for that, and yeah, so I'll say that was like the bad period. The ugly and the bad was like visa and um not having a job for like a year thereabouts. That was terrible. I do not wish that on anybody. Just like looking at your bank account and it's like you were. Don't forget, I'm paying rent. Oh, I was paying rent every week, like money was leaving the account. There was just nothing about money leaving your account. Guys, I was raking my head. I was like, what can I do? What business can I do? Australia is not that for me, it didn't feel like that place where Nigeria, just gonna open shop or do something where money will try and come in. It was just very, very tricky. And I'm just grateful, like I'm not in that space anymore. I do not wish, and I know I will never go back to that place of like not having a source of income. It was just crazy and scary. But yeah, so that's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the question, the $1 million question, will I make that move again? Yes, I would still come to Australia because I know it was ordained by God. It can only be God, okay? It was God that orchestrated everything. And the way I came to Australia, I can say it was only God because things fell in place at the right time. If I'd graduated a year earlier in university, I would probably not be in Australia because it was not an option then. I came on a 476 visa, and that visa had like a relationship. The Australian government had a relationship with the schools in Russia, and if I'd finished a year earlier, I would not be have been eligible for the visa I applied for to come into Australia. So like I know God had a plan, and when everything was happening before, because I was actually supposed to finish a year earlier, but I got delayed due to visa and all that. So I finished a year later, and it just worked out perfectly. So like if you are at a phase in your life and you're at waiting period, I just want to encourage somebody out there and tell you like just believe in God. And like when you're going through something, let's not even lie, it just feels like there's no hope and everything is driving you crazy, and you're just like, God, why me, why me, why me? And sometimes it's like God is quiet but he's telling you like, I've got you, you just have to believe me. Sometimes like when I'm going through things or when life gets hard, like when people go through things, just remember like there's this story of like someone seeing only two footprints in the sand, and at the end of the day, the person was like asking God, like, how come I was walking by myself? You were not there with me. And God was like, I was actually carrying you through that. So those are my footsteps in the sand. I was carrying you, my child. Okay. So just I remember that when things get, I'm like, I know God is with me. It might look like it's crazy right now, but I know things will get better. But yeah, so that is that. Okay. And on that note, I think I'll end this video. So it's been 6 years, and I would say it wasn't until 2023, I would say, where I finally had like, where I felt like I could breathe, because it was just jumping from one, I don't want to say one problem to the other, whether it was visa or study or something. It was just like you were just not set. It wasn't until last year when I got the visa I was hoping for I finally felt like, okay, like, yes, Australia is finally a possibility. Do you get what I mean? So, like, I'm really, really grateful for that. If you're still on your study journey or your migration journey, or you're just applying for your visa or you're in the process, I really need you to watch this video all the way to the end. And I hope it speaks to you and encourages you, okay? Because it is possible. I knew nobody when I came to Australia. I was on my own, but God has made a way for me and He has made things work out perfectly in His own time. So never, never stop believing in God. He loves you and He's got you. I'm sorry, like this video literally just became like a spiritual thing, which that wasn't the plan, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you all so, so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment below if this video resonates with you. If you've enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. What did you learn? I want to hear from you guys, okay? Let's keep the comment section bubbling, okay? I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, like I said, okay? So you can see my beautiful face in the next video. Bye, guys.